Okay, this is just a pretty basic demonstration of a way that I use the Essential Graphics panel and also drop-down menus in order to kind of speed up my workflow. So a lot of the videos that I do involve showing multiple products that are basically the same thing, but they're slightly different sizes and shapes and colors. But I also have to show them in the right proportion to each other. And so I've built this in order to be able to quickly add multiple of the same product into a shot and switch out what they are while keeping all their proportions the same. So this is my stand-in for the product is these cars. And so I have this main comp for the product that I have a couple of different drop-down menus here for. So I can switch between which type of car that it is. So these are our three different products. It's the sports car, the vintage car, and the cartoon car. And then each of those has its own primary, secondary, and tertiary color. And whenever I change one of these other drop-down menus, when I change for the other device, it carries that value along with it. So it'll always be, the secondary color as long as that's like that. And then I can also change the angle. So what angle that we're seeing the product from. And so that's all just literally a bunch of if statements as an expression in the transparency property. So you literally just have a bunch of values that correspond to these drop-down menus, but then also using the .split expression to coordinate with the layer name of the product. So each of these numbers in the layer name corresponds to one of these values. So this is sports car, which is number 1 in this drop-down list, and it is the primary color and it is the hero angle. So if I set this, so you can see the transparency is at 0 now, or the opacity rather. If I set this to this image, now it's at 100. So as long as all of these conditions match up with these values that are in the layer name, then that layer turns on. And that's all it is for all of these. And actually the way that the expression is set up is so that it can be the exact same expression for all of these. So that's where the .split expression comes in handy, because it's literally just pointing to this number, or I guess in this case, it's this number. So it's as long as the number of position in the drop-down menu matches this number, then that's true. And if this number matches the position in this drop-down menu, that's true. But it doesn't have the specific numbers in there, so I can copy and paste this expression onto every single one of these layers, and it's all the same. It's not customized. So the biggest issue with this, though, comes if there's a product that has to be added into this list and not at the bottom, since each of these layer names are associated with the position in this drop-down menu. So let's say I want to add in a new car, and we're going to call it mini car. And if I want that to be in the second position, now I've thrown off my whole setup here, because if I go to the vintage car, now it's the cartoon car, because the cartoon car has 3, and now vintage car is in the third position in the drop-down menu. So if I add in all my assets for the mini car, now I have to rename all of those. So I wrote a very simple script that helps with that. So you can just increase or decrease the beginning number in a layer name. And this only works if it's formatted this way. But now I can just increase it, and now my whole list is back on track. And since I've already got this all set up, so when you add a new device, really all you have to do is name it properly, and apply the proper expression to it. Again, exact same expression as all the other layers. And now if I switch to mini car, there's the mini car. And it's got all of its images turning on and off as I go through this. So the really nice thing is that once you have this set up, and I guess I should mention that I have all of these drop-down menus inside this controls layer. It's just a shape layer. So it's all pointing to these. And then all you have to do is drag these menus over to the essential graphics, which I've already done. So it's going to tell me it's already in there. But once it's in the essential graphics, then you can use this comp as a pre-comp in a different composition, and then you have access to all of those controls within the essential properties. And then you can even take the layer and duplicate it multiple times, and then I can go through and change the values in the essential graphics. Now I have already applied an expression to it, because you can also apply an expression that just sets the value of this drop-down menu to the value of the layer name. And so in that case, if you want to change which car this is, all you have to do is change the layer name. So I can have a bunch of these in here, and I can have full control of my images just from the layer name. And I can even change I just have a trailing 0 on these, so that when I duplicate them, it doesn't increment the numbers. But I can change the color of each of these. I can change the angle. And that's really simple. So it's really easy to add a lot of items that are very similar that need to be, and again, if you want to make sure that the sizes stay the same, then it's pretty simple with this, because now all you have to do is make sure that the scale properties are all equal, and then they'll all be proportionally scaled as long as they're proportionally scaled as their input in here. So I imagine you could use this for, like a vending machine of different candies and stuff like that, but you just have the one layer, and then you duplicate it a bunch of times, and you just change the value for whatever candy you want in whatever position. So I think there's probably some creative uses for it, but at the very least, I hope it gives you some ideas on how to use the essential graphics and some of these drop-down menu controls in After Effects. And if you're interested in using this script, I will make this available in the description, and you can download it and use it for your own projects. Thanks for watching.